All right, ladies and gentlemen, especially for you guys listening, you can't see, but I want to introduce one of my good friends. If you watch the podcast, then you already know who this is. But one of my buddies I've known, we met in middle school. We met pretty early. We weren't close in middle school, but I've known you
Did we
since
meet
middle
in middle
school.
school? How do we meet in middle
I
school?
think we met through T. I
Oh,
remember you before. I remember you from middle school. We didn't know each other like that. But I want to introduce my main man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Calvin Williams. You guys know him if you keep up with the Guardian 615.
yes, sir.
So go ahead and give a little background information, all that good stuff.
Just on me or just about
Yeah, man. On you, like I don't know if we ever probably early in the 615 we talked
early? It was like
about
the first episode, I think,
yeah,
man.
about our background and stuff. But for people that are probably listening to just this, just kind of tell them, where you're from, grew up, and just just your story to where you are now.
All right, cool. So obviously, I know Finis from high school. I don't remember meeting him in middle school, but he says that, so I'm gonna take his
We
word on
we
it.
we weren't close, but like I knew of you. I think from sports. Because where'd you go to middle
Maybe
school? Where'd you go to middle school?
Hillsborough.
Hillsboro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Because
had to be through
you played
T.
basketball, right?
Yeah, but
Because I remember
I don't
Heritage and
remember
Hillsboro played.
Hillsborough playing Heritage.
I know we played,
I don't remember. Maybe we did. Maybe I
but
don't.
we
But
definitely weren't as like we're like close now.
yeah,
But like,
definitely.
yeah,
All right, cool. But well, obviously, went to school with Finance at Independence, played football and basketball with him and everything like that. Currently, right now, what I'm doing is I am an IT recruiter for Tech Systems. If you guys do not know what that is, it's a staffing and services company that's worldwide, overseas companies and everything. And working staffing, man, and I like it so far. It is a challenge, but I think everything's a challenge nowadays. But the meaning of this podcast and everything is to go about my before I went with Tech Systems, I was a GA with University of Chattanooga basketball team. And yeah, man, we're going to get into it a little bit. We're going to dive into, just my experience, my thoughts and takeaways. And for, those future people that want to get into graduate school or want to get into the sports business, I'll give you just my perspective and kind of things to watch out for or just tips in general, man. So
yeah. So perfect. So for people that don't know, a GA it's a graduate assistant position, and it's kind of like people have had TAs, teaching assistants in labs and stuff. It's kind of like that, but instead of for a professor at a class, it's for a coach on a basketball team, football team, all kinds of sports. And so we're just kind of gonna touch into like the ins and outs of a GA position, because if you want to get into coaching, if you want to get into sports
basically,
industry,
basically,
yeah,
basically, my thing is if you do not have a collegiate sport background or play any sports, this is the route that most people take.
right.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
because obviously, if you go pro or you play it at a competitive level in college, you can usually jump straight into a coaching position, even it's probably an assistant coach somewhere. But if you never made it to that super competitive level, you got to put in some years as a GA usually to get into those spots. So just starting off, we're gonna talk about kind of in the beginning. So how did you get to that your GA position? Because for people, obviously, real quick before you go, you obviously it's a graduate assistant position, so you have to be a grad student.
Enrolled in, yeah, you have to obviously graduate with your bachelor's in whatever degree, have some type of certain GPA that meets the university's requirements and everything. I will say one thing: most of the like major schools and everything require the GR. Is it GRE? Is it GRE?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
The GRE. My school didn't for my program and everything. So before you kind of want to,
yeah. Well, most schools actually don't even. A lot of schools are not. They're not requiring the GRE.
Really, because I know when I was going through. Well, when did I start going through?
Yeah, it's crazy. We were on that cusp because I'm trying to get a professor, so I'm kind of behind the scenes kind of, and it's crazy or funny because right when we graduated was the end of like, the SAT and the GRE was like huge. You had to do those.
Yeah.
Our year, if you graduated high school 2014, so like 24, 13, 14, 15 were like really the last few years where they were like really requiring them. And data came out and showed, and they did a study and showed the GRE has no correlation how well you do in grad school.
It
But once that comes out, a lot of schools don't require. Now, if your GPA is, they have it to where you can use it to kind of help. So if your GPA sucks, but let's say you had a bad year 1 year, or like you had stuff going on outside of school in your grade slip, you can take the GRE, and in combination with your GRE and your GPA, then you can get in. So if you have a really good GRE score and your GPA is all right, then they'll be like, okay, he did good in his GRE.
Hey,
if you have like a fantastic GPA and you got these fantastic letter of recommendations, a lot of the time they'll just be like, yeah, we don't really need your GRE. Because you did well in high school.
That's what I was gonna say too. Like recommendations, like I don't think people understand like how much that actually helps.
Oh yeah,
like it helps out. Like I had 3 recommendation letters. I didn't read 2 of them because obviously like they sent them and everything. But one of my teachers, like she sent it to me and CC'd me on the email, and I read it and I was like, if I don't get in, then I don't know what's going on.
They be happy. They hype you up.
Yeah, a little bit. So I was just like, okay, cool. But anyways, how did I get into it, man? It was my senior year, and for my program for sports management, you're required to graduate. You have to do 2 internships, and I think each internship is like 200 something hours. So I did my first internship at Finley Stadium, which was an intern for event management, and then for my second semester, I was working as a student manager on the team, and that's how I got into it, man. And the thing that was kind of nice about it, when McKinday was there, I was trying to get in with them, but they already had the team and everything set up. They had like some of the student managers already like on board from like the summer and stuff, so I would have been way behind. So that coach left and everything, and then Coach Pears came in from Wisconsin, and then that's when I had joined and everything like that. So I got in like right on the cusp of it. So.
And then didn't you do something up in Philly?
Yeah, that was actually after I graduated and everything as an internship to kind of like network build and everything, just have something on my resume that is like sports related,
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about that? Did I ever tell you anyways, I'm gonna tell you about it anyways. It's a company called Hoop Group. It's all the way up in, it's based in, what is it called? Neptune, New Jersey. That's right next to the Jersey Shore. And if you go to the website and everything, man, like Kyrie Irving's been there, KD, like.
Oh, so it's legit.
Oh, yeah, bro, it's so legit. Like they have, Jalen Green that just went to the, what's it called? The league? Went to the Rockets.
Yeah.
He went to Hoop Group showcasing, dunked on somebody, and that's how he got his name around like the nation and
for
stuff.
real.
Yeah. So like it was that. Dude, there's so Finis, I gotta send you. I gotta go to the what's it called, the website, and send you the link to this one page, and it's just a list of like current NBA players, former NBA players. You just keep on scrolling, bro. It's so long, but yeah, it's a company called Hoop Group up in New Jersey and everything. They hold some of like the biggest tournaments you can think of like Nike sponsorship team, Adidas sponsorship teams, like you name it, like they're out there, man. So very well known up in that kind of like Northeast area and everything.
Okay.
So
for your for the GA thing, is there like a online, like do you have to apply? Like how's the application process?
Oh, I had to apply and everything like that. I don't know.
Was it competitive? Like, do you know like if it was like super competitive, or is it something people aren't really, not a lot of people really get into?
Not from my degree program, because I was doing teacher leadership. So I think my class size, I had like, how many classes did I take? I think like 6 or 7 different classes, and classes were small, man. They're like 10 people, and we met every Saturday. We met every 3rd Saturday of the month. So we only met like 4 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, so what I really want to get into, because I kind of saw this from for people that don't know so you have the coach. So let's just go like off position. So you have the position coach. You have
Well, you're talking about football.
well, yeah, well, that's what I can relate to, but I'm kind of
I go with the basketball.
segueing.
I go with the basketball.
Yeah, I'm a segue into what I'm gonna bring up. But so like in football, you have the position coach, you have the GA, and you have the player, and that's kind of like the hierarchy depending on the organization or the team. But there's a different relationship between the GA and the player, because usually the player and the GA are closer in age. The coaches could be 40, 50, 60. Usually the GA and the player are a couple years apart. And so there's a different kind of connection there. And so I've seen what a GA has to do day to day. Like it's maddening. And so I want you to kind of just explain like what responsibilities did you have as a GA? Stuff like what'd you have to do on the day to day? Because I know you had to do like practice scripts, and I'm sure you had to break, like, I don't know if y'all like designated it, but I know GA's got to break down the film and like have everything set up for the coaches, so the coaches just grab and go.
It's funny that you asked that, because when I was interviewing for Tech Systems, because there's this guy that played football at Kentucky, and he knows the GA. Like he was like, because there's another girl in the interview that was asking me just about it. And then she was like, how would you describe it? I was just like, do you really want me to be honest? She was like, yeah. I was like, just make sure no bullshit happens, basically.
Yeah.
Is your responsibility.
You're like on crowd control.
Yeah, basically. Like it can't, like anything wrong, just a sliver, like you're going to get chewed out about it, basically. But anyways, my responsibilities on the team were, so I was basically like videotaping the games and everything, sometimes the practices. If I wasn't doing that, I was kind of like in the practices, like helping out and everything, like really like involved in with it. Like just basically just being like I don't even know, like a practice player, I would say, kind of.
Yeah, like practice squad.
Yeah, in a sense. And that's just from like, just from practice and everything like that. Now, what I did outside of it, obviously I said videotape games, broke film down and everything like that. Players laundry, gotta love that shit.
Yo, you did the laundry,
bro. So I'm gonna get into like the more stuff, the reason how this panned out. So did the players laundry, inventory, bro. When I tell you, when they get the gear in and everything, and you have to make sure, because you get obviously like road gear and everything, and obviously like game gear and stuff too.
Right.
So like each player, like we asked them like, what do you want? Do you want a headband, arm sleeve, leg sleeves, like long tights, short tights? Like, what do you want? So we got to have a spreadsheet of that. And usually basketball teams are like 15 people, 15 to 20 people. Really depends on just the team and kind of like the whatever it is. But did inventory. You got to make sure what size they needed, like and everything like that. Got to document it. What else, man? What else?
Were you
else? I would say so that's in season. In season, dude, they're so like it's so hard to kind of describe, because you're literally doing almost everything in every direction.
Is it basically like an all-day thing?
Yes, especially if you're on the road, bro. Yes. Did got the meals and everything for the coaches and everything, like literally like when they pick shit up in my car.
You're like a glorified errand boy as a GA.
Basically. And then during the off season, they have camps and everything. So you're reaching out to different like coaches in the area, seeing who's trying to, come to your camps and everything, get like a estimate number and everything like that. Because that money that they make and everything, those camps, they're really I wouldn't say banking on it. I would say that because it's a smaller school. We're not like an SEC school. We're in the SoCon, if y'all know what that is. So like we don't bring in that much money, especially for basketball. So like those camps and everything, they kind of bank off of that money to put it towards the next season for like travel and everything like that.
Right.
So yeah, man, to sum it up, there's really no clear job description of what you would do as a GA. So, but just like, you would have your hands in almost everything, man. I mean,
it's like It's like, when like kind of like when you, let's say you be like come the head coach of like Kentucky's head coach, or like Duke, or like a Nick Saban for football. When you get to that point where you're on like a long tenure track career at a university, you've made it. They're not doing the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Like the GAs, or that's when you're trying to get your foot in the door, and that's the grind.
Yeah.
That you do all this BS. Because I remember there was one time we started, might have been my senior year, we started practicing in the mornings because coach wanted to see how that worked, to practice, because we would work out in the morning. So we were used to being up in the mornings anyway. And coaches noticed, like, we work out in the mornings, then we have class all day. By the time 3 or 4 o'clock came around, we're tired. Like dudes are falling asleep in meetings. We're tired because we've had this long day because we've been up early anyway. So coaches are like, okay, let's see if we practice in the morning. Since they're already up, we get the practice out the way. And then after class, they can go do homework, chill, relax, whatever, as long as you take care of your business. So, I mean, meetings at 6 a.m. So, I mean, your meetings at like, you got to be there around 6. But I just remember getting there super early. Bro, GAs had already been there. Been there. Look, you come, you walk into the position room, the practice scripts laid out. They got the card, because each play is a card or set up for, they got all the cards set up. I'm like, how early do y'all get, bro? They get there like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then they stay after practice to break down the practice film. I'm like, fam,
bro,
we spend more time here than we do, and we're it's crazy the stuff GAs go through.
Bro, I remember after games, because our games would literally go, I think we would start either from the range of like 6 to 7. We would play somewhere in between there. Bro, we would stay
PM?
PM.
PM?
No, yeah, PM, no AM. No, there's no way. Getting those guys up at that morning, bro. No, there's no way. Some people ain't playing. But dude, I remember sometimes, I think the earliest I got out was probably Western Carolina, and we stayed probably, this is the earliest I got out. Now, keep that in mind. I think I stayed probably like 2 hours and like 30 minutes after the game.
The game was at 8?
No, the game was at like either 6 or 7. It was sometime between there.
Okay. So you're talking like you're leaving around 1 a.m., 12-ish, 12:30, maybe.
After everybody leaves the floor and everything, and everybody
is this home game or away?
Home games. Away games, we just throw our stuff in the bag and just go back to the hotel and just chill or whatever like that. Bro. Or we just pack up and just go right home, depending on the drive. But
you want to know what's crazy? So obviously football's a little different.
Oh yeah, y'all got like 80 people.
Yeah, so I know away games football, the night games suck. They actually suck. I mean, they're cool because it's nighttime, and usually if you're a late night game, like you're on national TV somewhere. I think it was we played somewhere, I think it's LSU or somewhere. Game started at 8 p.m. I remember the GAs, they got to break down. We watch film Sunday. So the GAs have to have the film broken down. They got like down and distance, what play, what defense they was in, yada, 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 and whatever. They have to have that broken down for Sunday. So when we're on away games and it's late, I mean, as soon as we're on the bus, the GAs are on the iPad breaking down the film, so they don't have to stay at the facility when they get back till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Football, you're talking offense easily around 80 plays, defense 80 plays. You got to break down each individual play. Oh,
bro, I've done that before. I've done that before on the bus. You know what the worst thing is though? Okay, I would say so. Like home games. Let me go back to it. Home games. I'm getting out at least by like 11 or 12, around that area.
Right,
bro. You talk about away games. If we get back at 12, we gotta wait. We gotta put the stuff in the washer because
y'all gotta do the laundry,
bro. Because you gotta think about it. The player's sweat is like it's in the jersey, like it's sitting
you can't just let it sit. Yeah,
you can't let it sit. And with the material and everything that like it's made out of, you have to throw it in like in the washer like soon as possible and everything, so it doesn't hold the like the smell and everything. And plus the way that the jersey's made, it'll mess up like the color or the stitching of it or something
Yeah.
like that. So when we get back, you got to throw it in the washer and everything. You have to stay there because they have to air dry. If you leave it in there, somebody will take it in there and just throw it in there and just put it on high heat. Next thing you know, the wording and everything is
Yeah.
messed up on the jersey. So
did y'all roll buses everywhere?
we rode buses everywhere.
Did y'all fly to any away games?
Yeah, we flew to we only flew, the only time we flew was to Michigan when we played them.
Do y'all not normally travel that far for away games?
No, like I think the farthest that we travel for away games like in our region is probably like South Carolina, like Furman, which is like 6 hours, I think.
So y'all after the game, y'all come straight back on the bus.
Straight back. Yeah, straight back. Yeah.
That's tough.
I would rather just go back to the hotel and just deal with it in the morning. So
yeah, ours wasn't too bad, but that's because we flew everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we had a game in Kansas City, and Columbia, Missouri is 2 hours. If you're going the exact speed limit, it's 2 hours. So if you're driving like most people drive, you can make it an hour 30, hour 45. It's a 2 hour drive. Well, we still flew to Kansas City just because one, SEC. I guess we got bread like that.
Yeah.
but it's crazy. We were doing the math because by the time we got to the airport, everybody went through security, got on the plane. They got everybody. By the time they did all that, we flew and landed. We probably could have been to Kansas City at this like around the same amount of time. Even though the flight's like 30, 40 minutes, but including like just getting on the plane and getting off, it's like a 2 hour thing.
Yeah, it was so many damn people.
Which I didn't complain because you
just cool.
I'd rather fly in a plane and ride on a bus any day. But
yeah, for sure.
So now getting into like the meat of it, and this is kind of, I guess, for people that want to get into coaching and are going to take the GA route. What are next steps that they like? Where can they go from here as a GA? Like, what are some possible next steps they could take?
Man, I mean, it really depends on the situation. I mean, as a GA, like you can go into like director of operations, which I wanted to go into. That's like basically you're doing all like the back end logistics and everything like that. That's the stuff that I like, but I was looking for a role that's kind of like a director of ops, but you can still like, be like a coach a little bit. You can train still. So you kind of get like a little hybrid.
Like a hands-on director of ops?
Yeah, something like that. That's the kind of role that I was looking for, but I don't really know what university does that because it's either you're the business side or you're the coaching side. Yeah. I don't think they really do like the in-between stuff. I don't know. It might be out there.
I feel like you'd almost have, I was gonna say, I feel like you'd almost have to be the athletic director and just hire yourself as the director of ops. And then that way coach can't say nothing if you want to train, but as athletic director, you got to look over all the sports. There's probably not enough time in the day for all that, for doing that for one sport.
Yeah.
Sure.
You can do, so you can go the director of ops route. You can go video coordinator if you like, the back end, like, just, cutting film and everything. And I think video coordinator, to be honest, is probably the most unique role because for somebody that doesn't know basketball, if you just sit there and actually watch the film and everything, you'll pick it up easily. Like You'll understand what the coaches are talking about, like on screens or how to defend like this certain play or anything like that, or just different, like, just different sets of plays that they run and everything. Which is actually pretty cool, but that's something that I did not find any interest in.
It's funny you say that. I remember listening to, I don't know the guy's name, and this was a while ago, but the guy that does the Titans games on the radio, because every Sunday we'd come home from church, we straight to the Titans radio, and one of the announcers or whatever that does the broadcasting, he doesn't know. He was saying he didn't know football, but because he studies the film, so he can like be good at his job. He'd study the film. And he started to pick up, he would know when it would be a pass or play based off, he would know the down and distance, obviously, because, third down, 10 yards to get a first down. He knew that. but he was like, he would know when it's going to be a pass or run based on who's out there. Because he noticed when this receiver and this
and everything.
Yeah, he noticed, well, when this receiver and this receiver out there, they throw it 80% of the time. And he noticed when they got two tight ends and a running back, they run it 90% of the time. Like, he started to pick that up. So he got so good at the scheme of the game based on personnel that he actually had a really good, solid football IQ. He could probably call a defense against the Titans. Even though he doesn't know football, he'd be like, oh, they're probably going to run it because it's 3rd and 5. And usually this tight end, that receiver, and that running back, they're going to run it 80% of the time. Like, so it's crazy. Like, you mentioned how the video coordinator thing is an easy way to pick up the game if you want to get into coaching or be around it, but don't really know the basketball sport on that level. Basketball on that level.
Fun fact, bro. I didn't know if you knew this. Eric Safalosha, that's the head coach of the Heat. He started out as video coordinator.
Really? That makes sense. That makes sense because he's a great basketball mind.
Exactly.
Makes total sense.
So you can obviously go, and I want to say this to just clarify. If you are a GA at the D1 level, jumping straight into assistant coaching and everything, that's not going to happen. Like, that's just unrealistic.
And I want you to explain that. Like, so let's say the person is asking you, I want to become a coach and I'm taking the GA route. What can that person, what's like the typical route? So I know in football, the typical route is you become a GA and you want to try to be a GA with either a great coach or at a high level. So obviously, if you're a GA in the SEC level, that's a good starting point. You'd be a GA and you'd be a GA for at least 2 years. Then out of there, you usually get either like a recruiting department position, or sometimes you can go to a smaller division or a smaller school and get a position coach job. And then that's when you start position coach. Then you work your way up. Then you might move to a different schools. Then you work your way up to defensive or offensive coordinator, go to a few schools, and then you finally get that head coaching position. So for basketball, kind of what's like the typical route?
The typical route,
coach. Yeah.
Now, I'm being very clear on this. If you are a player and you're a GA, like if you play on a team and then you become a GA, like you'll probably go into like a trainer role or whatever. Like, because at higher level like D1 schools, they have the funding to have like 10 people on their support staff. You know? So I mean, that's the route that I see usually for like the player route. Now, like just the average Joe route, you'll probably go into director of ops or video coordinator, to be straight up honest. It's either those two is really what I see. Now, if you go to like a NAIA D3, D2 school, you can get the assistant coaching job and everything like that. They're looking for, young, hungry individuals that are trying to get into coaching and stuff. So that's usually the route that I see most people get. But assistant coach D1 level, that's unheard of unless you're just a wizard. So,
well, I mean, it takes time.
Yeah, it takes time.
Because
I'm just saying, like jumping from GA to assistant coach to D1 level, that's unheard of. Like,
that is a pretty big bounce.
Yeah.
All right, and so obviously, when people watch football, basketball, whatever sport, they only see the end result, the product. They only see the game. Is there anything, or like, what are some things you learned kind of behind the scenes that either you didn't really know about, or that you were just like, oh, like, things that, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't really talk about, but that are there. That's like a part of the game.
Like, give me an example so I know what you're like talking about. Kind of, because I mean, there's so much back stuff. I mean, like, dude, I will say the most stressful thing is getting the fucking players there on time for warm-ups and everything like that.
Oh, really?
Dude, that is literally okay. The reason why I say this is because at a lower level school, they're just there to hoop and everything like that.
Right.
Now, like, and they're probably not the most, how's the word I say, responsible,
articulate. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not the most responsible, articulate, responsible. They're not the most articulate and responsible people. Now on the D1 level, they're probably like, oh, if you don't get here, we'll sit your ass. Like, we don't care.
Oh
You know?
yeah. There's
They'll do that, but like,
somebody's ready to take your spot.
yeah, but like at this level, it's just like, I know I'm a starter. Nobody's saying,
so yeah, we need you, buddy. We'll give you a 10-minute grace period, but you need you to show up.
but bro, I would literally say getting them in the locker room to at least suit up just for warm-ups and everything. Because usually our coach Chris does like a little pregame talk before warm-ups and everything and all that. They go out, warm up, come back in, get fully suited up, then they have like the pregame speech and all that, and like get energized, get their juices and all that shit. But yeah, that's probably the most frustrating thing I would say, bro. Like for the behind the scenes part. But no, explain what you were like saying though.
So like I'm trying to think of something like football wise that people don't really understand, but it's like kind of behind the scenes stuff. I don't know from a GSP, like I know from like a player's perspective and so like I guess this is kind of what I'm asking, but like when people ask me about football, a lot of behind the scenes stuff is like the off season isn't really an off season.
No.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
no.
people, that's why, it's football season. Well, to the players, it's been football season.
Yeah.
It's a year-round thing. And it's honestly, some of the time the season is slighter than the spring for depending on the program. But like stuff like that, but like from a coaching perspective of like, oh dang, this is different that you don't see on the front end. Like our training is, I guess like from a player's perspective, like the training, bro. I'm about to go adjacent, but like my thing is with the whole scholarship playing football thing is, people are always like, oh, you got a free education, like you understand, like 90% of the student population would kill to be. No, they wouldn't. I promise
you guys are on.
I promise you, the training we do, there are some people that would rather pay tuition than to do the stuff we do. Like I promise.
And it's not even that. The training you got to do on top of the schoolwork, on top of the mandatory meetings you got to go to and everything. Like, soon as you sign, I tell everybody this that wants to play college sports or anything like that asks me like anything. I'm just like, hey, as soon as you sign your name on that piece of paper,
you sign your soul away.
Yeah, like literally.
And then in their defense, like, yeah, I knew what I was. Well, you don't know what you're really getting into. You don't know what you're getting into.
You don't know the extent. You don't know the level.
I knew I was signing up to play competitive football and it was going to be tough, but you don't really know. It's easy to say that until you get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what it's like being a D1 athlete until you become a D1 athlete. Now, I'm not complaining, but I'm saying is it's a different level. Like people have no idea.
Definitely, for sure. I have to think about this, man. I would say the training and everything is different, bro. Like they go on a run across. Obviously, I don't think you've ever been in Chattanooga, but there's like a bridge that kind of like connects like downtown Chattanooga to like the university. They have to go run around that, and there's a big ass hill on the other side of the bridge that they have to run up. Basically doing like 110s and everything, but just running up and down the hill and everything.
Right. Is there any like did you ever have to see like the coaches like put any like crazy hours in that you're like, oh, this is unheard of? Because I know like some coaches like don't see their family like
during the season, dude, around the Thanksgiving, Christmas time, that's when they're really, really working. Like,
oh yeah, y'all are in season at Christmas time, huh?
And you're playing in tournaments and everything. So if you thinking about taking vacation, nah, that's not happening, bro. I would say too, something that a lot of people don't know, when they go on these like these when the recruits come in and everything, there's a lot of back end stuff that the GAs and director of ops has to do.
Really? See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So like when they come in and everything, we dedicate a locker to them and have like their like a jersey on there and everything, like some free pair of shoes, Chattanooga gear and everything that's set up specifically for them. Then they have to come in. We get with like the media team and like set up like the photo shoot and all that stuff, like the jersey and everything like that they get to put on. After that, we get like a golf cart and they get like a tour of the whole campus that they get to ride on the golf cart and everything. So we got to designate that for them.
Oh yeah.
When they go out to like their dinner or whatever, we got to like go out there and like reserve the table and everything like that. And as soon as they get there, like soon as like we try to plan it out is like soon as like they like leave wherever they're coming from, we put in like appetizers and everything. So once they get there, they got the appetizers already there.
You're trying to show them like treat them like royalty almost.
Yeah, basically. And then I think we don't do anything with this because they go back to the coach's house and everything, kind of sit down and just kick it basically. But we don't have to do anything with that because that's his crib. So yeah, man.
So in the off season, do the coaches travel to like go see high school guys?
Yeah. Different coaches have different territories. Like
that's what I did. That's what one thing an example that I just thought of is I didn't know that like coaches have certain areas that that's where they go. I thought, like if the coach liked you, they went to go see you. It's like, nah, like they have a region in the country that they go and try to get guys. And like when they travel, I know in the summer we had one coach, he's gone for the whole month just because a lot of the practice in the summer for our summer is ran by the GAs because the coaches are, I'll be in Tennessee this weekend, Georgia the next weekend. I go see some guys in Bama. I'm like that's one thing I was like, whoa, like coaches are.
It's funny though, is because everybody like the whole coaching staff recruits Tennessee. Like that's just like because obviously we're in Tennessee.
In state.
I think Coach Parrish really focuses on graduate transfers and everything that have 1 year eligibility left. I think that's what he focuses on. Coach Shannon focused in Florida because he's from Florida and then like Georgia too.
That makes sense.
D-Mac, when he played at Ohio, he's from Ohio, so he's in the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana kind of like
area.
Region.
Yeah. Like then, upper South, Midwest-ish.
Yeah, and then what's it called? Bronson I think he's Wisconsin because he played at Wisconsin. So he's looking for like the people that are just below like, D1, like high D1, high D1 offers and everything like that. And he has a good presence out there because he went to school out there. And that's where Coach Parrish, because that whole coaching staff came from Wisconsin, not besides D-Mac and Shannon. Like everybody else came from Wisconsin, like the actual university. So that's their territories, man. And shit, that's what they go at.
Now, now I want to kind of put everything like the big picture, because we've been talking about all this stuff you have to do, all this stuff. And what people always forget is you have to keep your grades up. So for you, I guess you specifically, and maybe some advice you would give on balancing classes. Because I know that's like, anytime you talk about collegiate athletes or you talk about GAs and coaches, GA assistants to coaches, you can't forget about the class, the school. You got to break down the film, and you still have classes. Yeah, and you have to do well, and especially when people don't know, when you're an undergrad, I think as long as you have a 2.0 GPA, you're eligible. You're fine, and as long as you pass, I think 9 credit hours a semester, and which undergrad is 12 is full time.
You have to be. If you're getting government assistance, you have to be 12 hours.
Yeah. So like you have to keep, but that's undergrad. What people don't understand is when you go to grad school, anything less than a B is an F. There's no such thing as C's in grad school. So it's even, and depending on the program, but most of the time you're talking about the workload in grad school is exponentially more than undergrad. So you're doing all of this on top of a higher level education. I want you to speak on that. Like, was it hard for you, or were you pretty good time management?
It was hard because I had to miss some of the classes because we were traveling.
That's what I really want to talk about, because in football, Saturday, so we're not missing much. I never really missed anything for real because of football. But basketball, Don't y'all like sometimes play like a Wednesday, like in the middle of the
It's
week or something
so
like
it
that?
do it's it you like when it's non-conference, bro, you could literally play on Sunday.
Yeah.
You can literally play on Sunday.
So
Like
like
it
how was that? I'm sure that was crazy.
so non-conference, that was a beast, bro, because we were traveling. Because, like, for instance, like we would when you play non-conference, it's more you're traveling more and everything because
Right.
you're usually traveling to like the bigger schools and everything,
Right.
or you might have like an exhibition game where you're playing like some smaller school than you or whatever. But majority of the time, non-conference, you're traveling. So there's a I forgot who we played Michigan, right, in November. We played them, I think, on like a Wednesday or Tuesday. We came back to chat for a day, had practice, went to Florida for a 5-day tournament, came back 2 days, went somewhere else, came back for I think like 3 or 4 days. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Bro, that's a quarter of the semester. That's almost a
Exactly.
month. That's
Exactly.
almost a month
And
just
then
gone.
we had 4 days and then we went somewhere else. And then we had bus problems, which delayed the trip. So, bro,
Oh
like,
no.
so
I couldn't.
non-conference, dude, was hard. It was hard. And plus, like, it was harder for me because luckily the teacher like recorded the videos and everything for the
Right.
Zoom class. But still, dude, just sitting up there and
It's
just
not the
listening,
same.
it's
Yeah.
not the same at all, bro. And sleep, bro, that was not a thing at all. Like it was to the point, Finest. It was like if I even got the like if I had like a 30 minutes or an hour, I would be doing like a little bit of a paper, bro, and going back to like what I gotta do for GA
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
you didn't have time to really you
no,
had no downtime.
no.
Because
There were
if you
several.
had time to chill, that means you were just not doing something you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, like when I was doing the player laundry, I'm in the locker room just Googling stuff, bro,
Oh,
typing.
for real?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
doing
real.
like schoolwork and stuff?
Yeah, bro.
Oh yeah.
So, because I mean, I had no other choice. Like, I had
Yeah.
to wait on the jersey and stuff. I'm like, shit, I got an hour to spare. Like, let me do something. So it was that. Now, once we get on conference schedule, that's when it's more like scheduled and everything. Because I think we played every Wednesday and Saturday. But I think it was like alternating. Like, there might be one week where we play straight home games, but
Right.
every other like game, it was like home game. It would be like, no, we would probably have like 3 weeks out of the season where we play straight home games for that whole week. But other than that, it was like flip flop, like home game, away game, home game. So
Man, that's still steep. I was thinking about this a few years ago. If I had played any other sport, I could not have got my degree in physics. Because
oh
if
hell no,
with the
yeah,
classes I was in, because most of my undergrad classes were cross listed, so they were really grad level courses,
mm-hmm.
but I was taking them as undergrad. And if I missed one day, if I missed one day of that class, it was like you were missing so much material. It would take you 2 weeks to catch up for missing that one day because the way the class is set up with science or physics, at least, it's so much theory and there's so much math that they pack into one day because classes are like an hour or whatever, and you're trying to go through the textbook this big in 4 months. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no way. I was only able to get my degree because we only left on Fridays, which, you don't have class on the weekends. That's the only way I was able to get my degree. If I was playing basketball or track or any other sport that traveled in the middle of the week, there's no way. There would have been no way. I'd
So
have
shout
majored
out
in like,
football.
well, no disrespect to people that have English majors, but I would have majored in like English or like theater or business or general. No, I refuse. I would have never done general studies, but it's tough. Like that sounds tough. Like a Wednesday to just, especially if obviously you would probably try to logistically set your schedule up better than that. But the way some classes are set up, you have all your classes, or let's say you have 4 classes. There's some semesters where I got 3 classes in one day on a Wednesday. Could you imagine having 3 classes on a Wednesday and you're gone half the Wednesdays of the semester? There's no.
And if you're out of town, you're missing that Thursday classes too. So,
but you gotta keep a B average minimum. and you got laundry to do, you got practice to break down. That's crazy.
Hey, I got coaches texting me yelling, where the fuck such and such at? He ain't here. Like, I gotta go to their dorms. Just hey, you in there?
It's like, oh, I don't know, coach. I'm in the middle of an exam. That's crazy.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you a funny story after you get done with all these questions, bro.
All right. I got two more.
All right, cool.
So, kind of wrapping up what we were talking about before we just have some free conversation. So I do know, remember at one point you wanted to be a coach, and then after your GA stuff, you were like, oh, I kind of wanted to have been like director of ops. And so what changed was there anything that changed your perspective, or like, was there anything you saw that you were like, ooh, coaching, that kind of make you switch your mindset or change your mind on that?
Yeah, definitely. There's multiple things. First thing, dude, if you work in any like athletic sports or anything, it's a grimy game, bro. It's a grimy game, dude. Like, I've heard stories of other people, like a position will open and like, let's say like your best friend from like, not best friend, but somebody that you work with that like from years ago that you work with is applying for the same position. I've heard stories of like people snaking other people out and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's slimy.
Yeah.
Like slime season, slimy.
I don't know if it was true or not, but I heard this, so I'm just
I believe it, because people really want that position. Especially if you're trying to go from a GA to a full-time salary position. I believe people do stuff like that. I believe it. Because real quick, because as a GA, you're not getting paid.
Luckily I got paid.
No, I'm saying, well, I was pausing. You're not getting paid well.
No,
you're not a salary paid position. Like you're no.
Side note, and that's the thing that I want to tell everybody. If you do a GA and everything, please make sure you got some money stashed away.
Make sure you're not making a lot.
Either make sure you got either some money stashed away, a good side job hustle that won't burn you out or whatever, or both. So
yeah,
that's my recommendation, bro. Because that little chump change they hand over might not even get the rent covered.
I want to make sure people understand, like, you're not a full-time salary type position. It's a grind.
Basically, it's a volunteer role without being volunteer. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a volunteer role, but they cut you some, like, they cut you a piece, even though it's not really much.
Yeah.
Because I don't know like everywhere, at UTC or whatever, but I know based on what I've seen if you were to minimum wage, federal minimum wage, $7.25. If you were to, let's say, anytime you did anything GA responsibility type, anything of that level, you were to log those hours, you're making significantly less than minimum wage. That's how, like,
yeah,
I'm trying to put in perspective, let people know, like, you're not compensated very well. If you were to put literally log, like, people that work 40 hours a week, if you work, you work more than 40 hours a week, if you include everything. But if you do 40 hours a week, your pay minimum should at least be $7.25 times 40. Well, if you were to log all your hours you do as a GA, everything, and to look at that check they give you every month, it's not even close to $7.25. No. Significantly lower than $7.25. No. Just to put in perspective for people that have no idea, like, what level we're talking.
Literally.
But perspective, back to our question. What changed your mind?
So, what was the first thing that I said?
I forget.
I forgot what I said, man. Damn.
I got a
CTE.
Yeah, I got problems with memory.
I would say whatever I said the first one. The second one, dude. First thing, like we said before, there really isn't an off season. So as a coach, bro, you're working as much, if not more, than you're working in season. Because like you said, you're traveling to different places, scouting, reaching out to these guys, like trying to set up like times for them to come visit the school and everything. You think the season's over and everything. You think you have vacation. You don't really have vacation at all. Like, it's crazy. And obviously too, like, you play during the winter months. That's when the holidays are. You don't get to see your family. I think that's a big thing because I like to go see family and everything
Right.
like that. And if you're a coach or on the staff, you can't leave. Like, you just can't, you know? So that's the second thing. The third thing, you really just don't know when you're going to get your call to be a head coach or begin to a coaching role because it's so competitive.
Right. Yeah.
Especially it's crazy though, dude. Like, there's people that I've known from when I did the hoop group job that have been at like the D2, D3 level for like 6-7 years, and they haven't got that, and they've been applying, networking with
Right.
all these different people and everything, and they just can't get out. I say the worst thing is too, I've heard if you get into JUCO, it's really hard to get out of that.
Once you like step into the JUCO world,
it's hard to get out of it. It's hard to get out of it. And I don't, and the reason why, I have no idea at all. That's just what I've heard multiple times.
Yeah, it makes sense because I feel like once you drop down to the JUCO level, you're taking yourself out of that pool of higher level GAs or assistant coaches and stuff like that.
And a lot of people look at where you came from previously.
Exactly.
So, and if they don't know anything about that place or know somebody that went there, they're like, yeah.
Because I mean, because I guess to put in perspective, at least the way I think about it from my football background, it's like, let's say you are assistant coach at let's say you're assistant coach at a JUCO, and then you're applying for a job. Let's say there's a position open at let's just say Louisville football team or basketball, whatever.
Yeah.
Let's say football. And you were assistant coach at a JUCO for, let's just say 5 years. Well, but then you have this guy, let's say this other guy applies. He's been a GA at Alabama. He's been the GA for the running backs at Alabama. Well, the positions for running backs at Louisville, they're more likely to take the GA for Bama at running backs with that program and the knowledge he's soaked up under Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably more likely to take him than they are the guy that's been a head coach at JUCO. Yeah. Even if he's been, he could probably go undefeated 3-4 years in a row. It's JUCO versus this guy that's been under, we all know everybody that's been under Nick Saban. We know their track records. They're phenomenal coaches.
Yeah.
So, it kind of makes sense how once you step into that JUCO world, but some people, it's the only thing available. So, I mean, you got to get out the mud. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, but it makes sense.
Not trying to downplay JUCO or anything. That's just a different type of ball game, man. So it's tough there. It's tough. But the only way that I know people that can really get out of it is if you have just a top-notch star player that's going high D1, that's transferring into a high D1 school. And if you're just a good coach and everything,
really?
That's the
only way. The rapport. Oh, you talk about you send guys out. Like you're always
you can every year, like you're putting somebody at like a top.
Yeah. Like a pipeline JUCO.
Yeah,
you're always sending guys to like Bama, Clemson, Ohio State. And they're like, dang, who's this coach sending all these guys? Okay, yeah.
That's the only way I can think of. Like,
that makes sense.
Or you just got a crazy long lasting record. Like that's
something
stupid. Like, so
that makes sense.
What else, man? What else? You know what it really was, bro?
This is the big one. What? Cutthroat,
bro, is dealing with player egos and everything like that.
Really? I feel
I can't, bro. I can't deal with that, dude. I really can't. And the reason why, I'm not gonna say the dude's name, but when I was when I was a student manager, there's this freshman. Granted that he was good and everything, he was great player when he was in high school. I think he's a 4-star. There's no way in hell he should have came to Chattanooga, but The
Oh,
coaching
really?
staff, yeah, the coaching staff got him there. Like, bro, he had like Xavier offered him
Oh,
like
for real?
all these like big name schools up in that kind of like Ohio, Indiana region and everything. So there's one day that he came in and he was late. He was late. Like everybody was on the line already, like stretching and everything. He was
Right.
late. Like he so the coach went up to him and was just like, coach went up to him and was like, it was assistant coach, not the head coach. Assistant coach went up to him. I think this is the coach that recruited him actually. Kev, why you late? Man, I was doing some fuck out my face. I'm like, oh my
For
God.
he said that to the coach?
Yes. And they got into like a little argument, and it got to a point where one of the players had to hold him back because they were like, they weren't about to fight, but they were getting in each other's face and everything, kind of getting into a yelling match. And bro, when I saw that dude, I'm just like, I do not want to do that. Ever get into like an 18 or 19-year-old's face when they're like trying to like when you're trying to confront them on something that they did.
Right. When they're in the wrong.
They're in the wrong, and you call them out on it because that's what you're supposed to do as a coach, and then they get in your face and everything. When I saw that, I was like, no, I do not want no part in it. And then
that's tough. That is tough. I'm not gonna lie.
it is tough. It like you hear stories about that too, man. Like it's just I don't know. I can't deal with it. And the thing about it too, like he came in obviously like he had a name. He was a 4-star recruit on ESPN. Like you go down to a small school, they're gonna expect you to produce.
Like play right away.
Play right away.
Yeah.
No, he started and everything, bro. But he would come in, he would put up the numbers and everything, but he was forcing it. But he still thought he was like still the man of the team
Like,
and everything.
was he not efficient? Like he was just
No,
trying
he wasn't
to.
efficient. Like
Okay.
he would put up like I think he averaged like 15 points or whatever like that. But he like he would take at least like 12 shots to get
All
him.
right. He'd put up a lot of shots to get those points.
Yeah. So it was just like, yeah, you're getting the numbers, but you're pushing it, you know, like
Yeah.
it's not efficient. And but still he still thought he was like the number one go-to, the first option, but realistically, like he wasn't. Like, and I just can't do
That's
that.
tough. Well, it's interesting you say that because I feel like a lot of the reasons why some people become coaches is because of the egos, not because they want to put up with them, but they have an influence. Because when they come in, they're kids. Yes, you might be 18, but you're a kid. You're you know what I'm saying, you're still young, and they want to develop them. Because I feel like I would rather coach college than. Let me recant that statement. It depends. It depends. But I know a lot of coaches say they'd rather coach college than the professional level because the college coaches have bigger impacts on the players. One, it's more of a family type thing. It's not too much cutthroat business because once you're on scholarship, the scholarship, you got protection on the scholarship. Unlike in the NBA, they cut you whenever they want, or NBA, NBA, NFL, they cut you whenever they want. But you're kind of protected on scholarship, and it's more of a family type bond, I guess. And so they have a bigger impact on them because you spend more time, you got team activities, bonding, whatever, and you can develop them into guys they become. And I also feel like if you're the coach, if you don't like dealing with egos, fam, you don't have to. Look, because I'm let somebody show up late to practice. Their lockers cleared out the next day, my man.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can run your ship however you want to run it.
But when you don't got that many people on a team like that, there's not like our teammate.
You got to pick your poison. Look, I will tell you this: the one thing especially Coach Pink, who I respected about a lot of coaches that I've come across, what I respect about them the most is they don't care if you're. And they don't care if you're in the running for the Heisman Trophy. They don't care if you're the number one player in college, whatever. If you are on some BS, if you show up, obviously you get a little bit of a slack. But if you're on some BS with an ego, they don't care. They will sit you down. Now, yeah, I get what you're saying. Chat, Mizzou, two different programs. But if I was a coach, I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're already not efficient, say less. Now, if he was shooting 80% from the field and this dude was dropping 25 points a game, okay, we got to try to make it work. You know what I'm saying? But if you got to put up 18 shots to get 15 points, bro, the moment you do something out of line, no, bro, you're suspended indefinitely.
Come sit right here next to me.
Right. We got to figure something out because this ain't it. But no, I respect that because.
I mean, dude, and I really think that was the biggest thing for me because, and the crazy thing about it,
it's gross.
He still played. He still started to play after it.
And I mean, I guess it was the assistant coach. It's not like he came up on the head coach, even though it's still wrong.
But the head coach was right there, like watching it. I'm just like, damn.
Yeah, bro. I guess. I mean, yeah, you're right, but I'm telling you, if he had like gotten the head coach's face, it'd have been different.
Oh yeah,
But
I don't think he had the balls to do that.
Exactly. He knew he was talking. He knew who he was talking to.
Yeah,
the assistant coach. But still, I don't like people with bad attitudes.
Yeah.
But now here's the $1 million question.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go back? Now, obviously not as a GA, but would you go back if the opportunity arose? That's arose. If the opportunity presented itself, would you get back into the coaching game, or what do you want to call it?
Yeah, it would have to be the position that I want.
It'd have to be like the perfect situation.
It would have to be the perfect situation, and the money would have to obviously be right too, because you don't get paid even if you're when you're on like staff and everything, like on payroll and everything. You still don't make that much in those positions, man. Like our director of ops I think the director of ops at Chat, I think makes $35,000 to $40,000 a year.
What? No.
Swear.
Hold up, wait a minute. Now. We finna fact check this.
Swear. It ain't much, bro.
For basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, 35? Oh.
What does it say?
No, this is the United States average. Oh, here we go. He makes $96,000 a year, Calvin.
Who?
Wait, I gotta make sure this isn't football.
You gotta take into account we're low-level D1.
Yeah, but I mean, Chat makes some money though.
Bro, it's not that much, I'm telling you. Plus, they had to take a pay cut because of COVID. Yeah.
Google is, oh, here we go. UT Chat. Assist, that's the AD, Director of Athletic Performance.
You on Chat's website?
Yeah. Where's the Director? It's equipment facility.
How are you? Hold on. Send me this link. I want to know where you found this out.
It's the staff directory.
Oh. It doesn't show how much. It doesn't show how much they make. It just shows a title.
Oh, well, before I clicked on it, it was showing they we couldn't find it, people. We're in here trying to we're scheming for people's salaries in here. I'll take your word for it.
It's not much, bro. It's not that much. So
I wonder how much to add. Yeah.
Say it again.
I want is it called Director of Ops or Director of Player Personnel?
I think those titles are basically the same thing.
Oh, they got the Bamas. I wanted to see if I think it's not on there because y'all are a smaller school, because Bama's football director of operations salary is on there. which is
For real.
150,000. Yeah. That's a lot of money. But yeah, man. Some good insight. Basketball makes 42,000 a year. No. Ooh. University of North Alabama Director of Basketball Operations makes 12,000 a year. There's no way.
That is
Oh no, there's no way.
that is, dude.
That's disrespectful.
You're better off just working at McDonald's, bro.
I was literally just about to say you make more.
You're
McDonald's.
better off.
I think at McDonald's, if you worked as a cook making minimum wage, you'd at least make 19. You could probably make 20,000 a year. 19,000 minimum.
19,000.
Like minimum, bro.
Hold on. Let's see how much. So
no, you make 15,000. If you're working minimum wage, working 40 hours a week.
40 times how much you getting? 19? 19, you getting paid $19 an hour? No, not 19.
No, 725.
Is that
19 an hour?
No, hold on.
I would be working at McDonald's if they were paying 19 an hour.
What is, I thought the minimum wage was at least $10.
It's 725, Calvin.
I thought they raised it.
Not everywhere. It's state by state. I just go by federal because I always think like bare minimum, worst case scenario. Because Texas minimum wage is still 725.
Hold on.
Yeah, fam. 19, bro. McDonald's paying 19 an hour. I would be in a McDonald's outfit right now. I would be working at McDonald's.
725. You're bringing home
$15,080 before tax.
Before taxes.
That's more than the North Alabama Director of Basketball Operations. Assuming this is right. I think this is some BS, but it might say that because he's doing something for tax write-off things. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on, man.
For sure, bro. For sure. Yo, since we're on the topic of basketball, you see them 18 NBA players get what's it called?
Bro, them dudes are trying to get some money.
Bro, $4 million?
They have to be broke.
My thing is though, some of them are. But Darius Miles has his own YouTube channel with Quentin Richardson, which gets a lot of views and everything. And I know
it does. How many subscribers do they have? Do you remember?
I have no idea, but they kind of do like a podcast, kind of like the All the Smoke one with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. It's very similar to that. But I'm like, bro, like you're making money off of these YouTube videos and stuff, like, and you trying to scheme, like, it's like, damn.
Hey, for people that explain it for the people that don't know about I saw the report today.
This happened today. So 18 former NBA players are all indicted federally on like a $4 million like scheme for like, I think it's like their fraud, like for like their like wealth and benefits plan or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically what that consists of, like the benefits plan and what they tried to do and everything. I just know 18 people split $4 million or whatever the total was. And you playing with federal money, bro, with the government's money. They're about to do some hard time. Like,
I don't think they'll do hard time, but
nothing to do hard time for real.
No, anytime
Actually,
crime.
I can see that. How much you think? 3 years, maybe at the most.
No, I don't think so, bro. Here's how I always think about this. So you remember the Monopoly game at McDonald's, right? That was all fraud, right? There's a documentary called McMillions. It was all fake. It was a scam. It was whatever. The person that was found guilty of that, I don't think he served a single day in jail. He just had to pay back money. I think one of them served like maybe 5 or 10 years, but he embezzled millions, like by millions. Now here's the thing: anytime there's a white collar crime, anytime there's a crime against money, they're not going to serve. They might serve a year or two.
It's going to be different for Sebastian Telfair because he went to jail for, I want to say, a gun charge. Not.
Oh yeah, let me say this: if they have clean records, they won't
Yeah.
serve much time. If they have a rap sheet, they're probably going to serve 3 to 4
That, well,
years.
I mean, for Sebastian, he's probably going back.
If it's their first offense, they'll probably get maybe a year, maybe 2 years, or they might do a year and then 2 years probation, and then
Or
they're
they
going
might
to
just have a long ass probation.
yeah, or long as or they might subsidize their salaries, their paychecks to pay back however much per person, something like that.
But 4 million, dude, how? Like,
I don't know, man.
It's just in today's world, bro. You can never get away with any kind of fraud like that. Like, you just
The IRS and the government does not play about their money.
no, bro. They said, "Oh, 4 million's gone. Oh, we got to look into that for sure."
Yeah, insurance fraud is huge too. But I think it's kind of like insurance fraud because they're lying about their health or something like that.
I'm going to do a little bit digging because I want to know like how they got caught and what they were trying to do because I don't know what that plan like their benefits or anything like that.
I'm sure it's similar to people the fraud on the loans for COVID. I'm sure it's similar. Yeah, I'm sure it's similar to that because people are lying about, or there's people that do a fraud on unemployment where they're lying and say they're unemployed because of COVID, collect unemployment checks when they're probably, truthfully, they were just unemployed to begin with, kind of thing. And they just lie about it. It's probably similar to that where I think there's some kind of money they get if you file something about being hurt or injured because of
or whatever.
Yeah, because of basketball down the road, and you get a settlement. I don't know. It's probably something similar, but
yeah, but they all got caught.
They got caught
red-handed.
Yeah, still not.
Can you think about that, bro? Like you're just chilling, and you have federal agents knock on your door and die.
Well, my thing is, if I embezzled 4 million, I'm not just chilling. Like once I if I ever commit, I won't. But if I ever commit a crime like that, there is no just chilling. I'm out of the country. If I ever commit a crime that involves stealing money, I'm not staying in the country. So if I won't, but I'm saying hypothetically, if I were to do something like that, it'd have to be for 4 mil is not enough. Between 18 people, it's not enough skin in the game for me because it needs to be enough money for me to walk away with where I can leave the country, go off the grid for the rest of my life. 4 mil, it's not enough for that. Like it'd have to be 150, 200 mil split between maybe 2 people. And then I'm out. I'm gone. I'm getting a dual citizenship somewhere else.
Hold on.
They're not catching me.
You coming away with just over 200,000
for 4 mil for 18 people?
Yeah,
that's not enough.
That's not enough. Nah, that might last you. I don't even know shit because things over in other countries and stuff.
Well, here in America, it lasts me. I can stretch it 4 years, 200,000.
And then you back on the streets trying to find some more money.
Back on the streets. And that's if I go 4 years without getting caught. So you got to leave the country. And if you do leave the country, you got to go to a country where the dollar's worth more. Well, if you're doing that, where the dollar's worth more to their currency, probably a third world country.
Last thing, Finis, before we go. What is the craziest thing that you have experienced just with like a GA or like a coach and a player? Like what, like something that you can tell.
Yeah, I know
you got some story that you can't tell. So tell the one that you can.
Yeah,
if you got it.
There's a handful I can't tell. A GA and I don't know if I have anything really crazy that's like the ones that I can't tell. The ones that I have, I can't really tell. So I don't know if I have any, like just in general, or it has to be a coach involved because there's some like player stuff with dudes fighting and.
Yeah, I guess so something like that. Yeah.
Well, there's a coach fought a player once. He got. I guess I could tell this. I don't care. The coaches aren't even there anymore. It's a whole new coaching staff. So just remember, none of these coaches or players are even at Mizzou anymore. This is forever ago. It is the day of the game. it's the day before the game, and we're eating a pre-dinner. So it's an away game. We travel, and we get there Friday, game Saturday. So whenever we get there Friday, as soon as we land, we go put our bags in the our bags in the hotel room, and we have like an itinerary, and it's like a strict schedule. Like, don't show up late. If you show up late, you're not playing. So it's time. When we first get there, you usually you either have dinner right away, or you gotta, depending on, because we go by position group. So like D line comes sit down at 6, then the safeties that come in at 6:10, and it's like 10-minute increments, whatever. DB, it's time for us to go downstairs. We go downstairs. So we're all sitting there. When we're eating, it's quiet. There's no talking. These are like super focused meetings. So all you hear is just people's silverware on the plates, right? Food's fantastic, but we're just eating, no talking. One of the coaches, I'm not gonna say the position. Actually, I'll say one of the D line coaches go up to a D lineman and says something, because I think he was eating too loud, something stupid. The coach was out of the wrong here.
Yeah.
And so because I think the D line, he was talking, but he was whispering. Like, you can whisper and talk, but you can't just talk normal. You got, if you whisper, you're straight. So he was talking. I think the coach is like, hey, stop talking. He says something. And so the D lineman like spoke up and talked normal. Was like, what'd you say to me? Bro, the coach wound up and slapped the player in the back of it, like hard, like in the back of the head. Bro, the player got up. Bah, bah, bah. He threw 3. Da, 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 da. He started fighting. And then, it's quiet. So all you hear is scuffling and like fighting. Bro, it was so wild because it was out of nowhere. And then obviously the coach was in the wrong. He got fired on the spot. So he packed his suitcase up, and we stayed at a hotel on the airport's right here. Like, the hotel was a hotel airport.
Mm-hmm.
An airport hotel. He literally packed the head coach will go home. He packed his bag. He literally walked to the airport from the hotel, bought a plane ticket back, and I have not seen him since. Bro. And it was like, I'm here. They're the table like in front of me to the right, so I see all of it go down. I was like, oh, it's like, bro, it was like a legit. It wasn't like, well, it's funny now, but when it happened, it wasn't
so serious,
bro. It wasn't funny because it was like, we're in a serious mood and there's no talking, and like it was a legit fight, like. Mm-hmm. Like they were, when dudes are mad, you're like, oh snap, like it's gonna get.
Yeah. How you gonna be a head coach, instigate and get pieced up like that?
Oh, he got hit that 1, 2, 3, and it took everybody, because the coach, he used to be a D lineman, so it was 2 big dudes.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
So it took half the team to hold back both of them. That's just one instance. I mean, I've seen.
Oh, I bet you've seen the whole ringer of your 4. Well, yeah. No, what, 5 years you had?
Yeah, 5.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You probably see some shit on a weekly basis, probably.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one story off air. I can't tell because cops got involved. But
all right.
But yeah, man, and it's I mean, yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I was gonna say, because technically I'm a GA, but I don't do anything athletically related. Mine's more of for professors. But man, great talk. I appreciate you for hopping on. I know we've been trying to get this one. Set up for a minute. But we're both guys that have lives, so.
And it seems like it's just too busy, bro. Like even on the weekends, it's just like you don't even feel like really doing nothing because you're so burnt out from the week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my Sundays are sacred.
And you got football now and everything.
Oh yeah, gotta love it. But appreciate y'all, listeners. I appreciate y'all for watching or listening. This Ivy Talks. I'm trying to get more special guests on. So if you guys, anybody for listening to this, you want to hop on and just talk football, science, sports, politics, I don't care. We can get on and talk. Just hit me up. I want to get more episodes for the Ivy Talks because we stay doing our 615. But I just want to get more guest speakers on. If you know somebody that'd be good for me to talk, let me know. I'll reach out to them. You know, everybody's welcome. I don't discriminate. So we appreciate y'all for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Deuces.
Even if I touch a meal and do it through the pain, I don't need a pill. And life gon' get me down, but it won't break my will. Cause I've been chasing this so long, I can't give up. I won't give in, been through too much. I done prayed for the money, I done prayed for the fame. I done prayed that I will make a sacrifice and play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same.